Yeah. I'm not gonna turn it on because we had double failure last time. What do you think? Should we turn it on? With the,
And I'm carrying out, don't bother. Well,
Mike's,
show up
yeah.
and he's like.
Let's have to let him in, so that, I mean, we could be either the projections well off. We could be either performing.
Feel like karaoke.
A little bit of, that's for you still. Karaoke, yeah.
That's fine.
So I'm not gonna go into details regarding the program, so we have sort of, that we have any data that, I think that.
Yeah. You've been giving your instructions.
I'm leaving and just talk to the, oh, Michael's joining, we're getting, thank you, ahead of schedule.
Isn't it?
Look at it. That's way off. How's that?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, can you hear us? Oh, duh.
Hello, it's Mike. Hello, guys. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
There we go.
Mike?
You say.
Yeah, I can hear y'all. How's it going?
Okay. We did-
Hey, Mike, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Sure.
Yeah.
How's it?
Okay.
It's working.
Sorry to-
It's not plugged in.
Huh?
It's not plugged in. It's on. It's magic. What the hell? Hey, so we're trying to see what happens before, I think I'll usually Bright Street touch it. That's where I'm at.
Brightspeed cut the phone.
Yeah, I think Bright Street did it. Mike, you still there?
Yeah, interesting. That's good to know.
I have a number if you need to call a person.
So did they,
I'm assuming.
well, did they state as much?
They didn't say much. They said they're coming a couple of in a week and a half to replace something.
Well, then how do you know Brightspeed did it?
I'm assuming because. Just by timeline. That's the timeline.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right, well,
Right, so today we're not, it's just the four of us.
yep.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not there.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump down to. Since none of the new members are here, we want to do actions from last meeting. We didn't discuss.
Yeah,
So-
we didn't have that on, so I didn't really.
So, last week we did end up having a meeting with Chief Tim Kersley out of Scottsville Fire Department. Brad showed up. And we talked about the fire department would be updating as the expanding of besides the Mid Creek Action Plan, would be the operations plan that extends. Makes it more widespread instead of just doing flooding. They sent us the first draft. And we review it, and then we can recommend it to town council when they finish the first draft.
Yeah, so Mike, if Tim's gonna lead the town emergency operations plan.
Okay.
I still think, to your point about process, I still think there's gonna be some blanks in there. But it turns out to be sort of a political thing for us or me or whomever to sort of drive that agenda. So I think it's more appropriate for Tim to take it, and he graciously agreed to do that. create a draft and then we'll review it. But as it gets closer to review, I think I'd like to take us back and go to use cases. Because I keep having questions about what happens under these circumstances, right? So Tim's going to broaden the operations plan because it was focused, as Jack said, mostly on flooding. We have a new member, Clyde.
So basically, he works for feds. I'm gonna go in detail about it. He's gonna do the risk assessment, threat assessment.
Yeah,
For-
so he's gonna expand
Okay.
the list
Yeah.
of threats, which should help just the use cases,
Yeah,
right?
so-
What happens
Right.
if this happens or that
Basically,
happens?
he's gonna go look deep into the federal level and see if there's any type of situation affecting the day of. And he's gonna do it 60 days in advance. That's all he could tell me I can
Right.
say.
Right. So he's gonna act just as a general consultant, but we do have to put him in touch with Chief.
Oh,
Curry.
he already have.
Oh, he is?
Which
Okay, good.
he
Oh,
said,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
he did with when Chief Jenkins's contact us. And
Yeah, so he's prior fire.
Clyde,
Yeah,
I'm,
I think he is prior.
he's law enforcement.
He's got law enforcement and I think he's
Yeah. No, that's
prior, huh?
it was Scott.
No,
We should-
Scott was, yeah, Scott was police. Clyde was fire and Brad was EMS,
Yes.
right?
should
So
have
we
it
got
covered.
all the bases covered here.
You do.
Do you have any update? First off, Mike, do we have any update on AT&T issue?
No, no new news, just that they're the only provider impacted
Oh, really? It's just
everyone-
AT&T?
I heard
Yeah,
several others.
in our area. Yeah, in our area is where I'm at.
ECC
Yeah.
is aware of it, and they were supposed to come to
Yes.
the meeting this morning, and they were swammed with issues with that.
Yeah.
The VIT outreach coming up, April 16th is.
Wait a
April
minute,
20th.
I don't think we finished with,
Oh, never mind, I'm getting ahead of myself.
yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself. Okay, so let's just close this out. We're all on standby until Chief Kersley gives us the go-ahead. And then I think we'll come back to the table with use cases and review
Right.
the manual and go from there. And then Javier's gonna act as the liaison with Oprandy at that level, because he's the liaison in an incident command kind of structure. He's the liaison to the county, so he can work that side of it. So hopefully over time, we'll get all of our ducks in order from the operations plan. Okay, that's the
Makes
status
sense.
of that.
Right, we're done with 3 because nobody else is new here.
Right.
So a couple of events coming up to make everybody FI on April 20th, is that correct? It's the 20th.
20th, I think.
So
it
yeah,
should
the
be.
20th, we have an event down here, National Book Day. I don't know if we should do something to help out.
Well, it's called Scottsville Literary Festival. It's all one word, Scottsville, and it just bleeds into literary. And it's on a Saturday. It's actually my daughter's leading it, but the town is involved, SCAN is involved, the library is involved. So it's the first event of its kind in town. And so if there's anything from an emergency preparedness thing that you can think of that we should do.
Outreach,
this is
Yes.
what- Yeah, outreach.
set up
but-
a booth, if
Yeah,
you're allowed to.
then we have a couple months to get ready for that.
All right, next item.
Wait a minute,
What?
let's see if anybody has any questions, Jack.
What's the expected outcome if it's a new event, something like that? Like, just load on us.
Well, I think right now, because it's the first of its kind, it's really unknown.
Yeah.
I know that my daughter's trying to keep it small, like some people wanted alcohol vendors to come in and this and that. She's like, no.
Yeah.
So I think it's activities all day, it's food trucks. And they're asking local businesses to highlight certain, book related foods, treats, snacks, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think she's purposefully keeping it sort of small, but
Okay.
we'll see. It may be bigger than we think. The one thing she's trying to do is get with the president of the PTO up at Scottsville Elementary to get scholastic books in for the kids. That would be pretty big.
Okay.
Libraries highlighting activities. So it's a full day of activities and whatnot, but
Okay.
April 20th, I mean, it could be anything. We
Yeah.
have no
No way.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be a lesson.
Yeah. No, that's good. Jack is trying to get,
How much so that's
maybe a tent canopy to help push the preparedness agenda, let them know we're here.
Right.
We could do things for the kids, have stickers or whatnot.
I just don't know where to print them. It's my only issue.
Stickers?
Yeah.
Anybody got any thoughts?
I mean, it's easy enough. If someone has a cry cut, I mean, how many stickers are we talking
I
about?
don't know. What
See, that's what we don't
Yeah.
know, right? How many
Yeah.
people?
Uh,
See, but if we got a box of stickers, let's say we got 500 stickers, we
Use
have.
it for multiple, right?
Exactly, Mike. We'll just
Yeah.
buy a bunch and at the next event, set up a booth just
Yep.
as part of community outreach. And one person I was talking to said that they felt that making people aware of preparedness is probably it's probably a very good time to do that, given the state of what's going on
yeah.
in the country. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty and instability and infrastructure problems and all kinds of that. So I think the more we can do community outreach to get people used to the idea, to get people preparing, I think we'll be well served.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's hard to make that engaging. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the real key, is how to make this engaging.
Yeah.
Right? For people of all ages. And I have some thoughts that I'd like to share with the group on that later on some new business.
Not for, yeah.
Okay, so that covers Scottsville Literary Festival in
So
April.
July 4th, I can't go in full details, but we met this morning as jurisdictions with Buckingham, Savannah. And Almar County came down with fire. And we're started first process of planning. We cannot park cars. My original idea is to fundraise that day. I got told this morning. Due to where the firework launch site is, that's no longer an option. Due to the fact that only fire personnel are allowed to access that property during the day. So we gotta go plan B regarding fundraising that day. So that's all I can tell you. Clyde has, like I already mentioned, Clyde has offered to do threat assessment level. Look into that detail 6 days in advance. I introduced myself to the emergency manager at Buckingham. And we're gonna work together to do weather support. He's gonna do Buckingham side with their National Weather Service. I'm gonna do Scottsville side. So we can get both sides covered. And he offered to talk to their National Weather Service office down in Blacksburg. And my place to try and get weather support for the fireworks site this year. That's all I have for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's more logistics of the classification I'm not allowed to talk about.
and then one of the things that Jack mentioned, so Jack works with Chief Jenkins, who of the Scottsville Police Department on that day, on July 4th. It's the biggest event the town has, really.
Oh yeah, should I bring up what template I made?
Which template?
The one I showed you. The ELC thing.
Not these?
Oh yeah, so, okay, so
Wait a minute, let me finish my
Oh,
thought.
sorry.
Okay, so when we talk about community outreach, one of the things that we could use people's help with is like manning the booth. If we set up like a canopy, like you see for craft fairs and stuff, and it says Ready Scottsville Preparedness, we're giving out stickers and pamphlets or whatnot to people to get them used to emergency preparedness, to let them know we're here. We would need some volunteers to help rotate and work the booth that day. So if y'all could mark this on your calendar, and if you have a couple free hours where you say you could man the booth, that would be helpful, especially since Jack is
I'll be-
tied up on July 4th. The other days,
I'll be GM.
Jack can work probably, because they're not as big events. But if we're gonna really try to outreach to the community, that seems like a great place to be.
Absolutely.
So I would ask that everybody think about that in their schedules. It's not mandatory, obviously, you know, it's just a volunteer type of thing. And this would be the first of its kind that we've tried to do. So just like with the events, it's hard to say what kind of community reaction we get. It is interesting though. So Jack has the nonprofit, and Ready Scottsville is the community outreach arm of his nonprofit. And when he's got 2 online channels, he's got a Facebook channel and Instagram
I
channel.
do have Twitter, but I can't figure out how to share everything at once.
And he's gotten some great comments from that. He's gotten new members for this committee from that. And the comments, were a couple of comments on there that I thought were interesting, in that it said, I didn't realize this town even had anything like this. I'm glad to see it, kind of thing.
Mm.
So that's good feedback when people say, oh, wow, okay, the town has something like this. I didn't know that was going on. And, people reach back to us through those comments and other things. So I think it's good to have that community outreach platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Action item, I did get the answer of what to do with fire and rescue access to trails. Their recommendation is put a lockbox and have a key that all the units have in their vehicles to access the trail. And they said to have a way to put information directions of what to tell the dispatcher, because
Mhm.
they have a certain protocol where they have a certain part of the questions they have to ask. And based on what the answer is, they automatically pop up what the call type is. So based on this certain question, I don't know the answer. I don't have the questions, but to answer that, they have a series of questions to ask. And then they usually bring a fire truck, a ATV, gator, or a medic unit also to the scene. So make sure we have to have a key lockbox up there for them to access. So that answers your question then.
Okay, but there's still no mile markers or anything.
I let them decide that because I'm trying to
Who's the them?
park.
Parks and Rec
Yeah.
Committee?
You're gonna liaise with them, won't we?
Yeah,
Oh, I got no comment on that one.
yeah, I think that's been tried, and I'm not sure it's very welcome.
Oh, yeah.
But I am working with one of the women who's doing the maps, and I did provide her what Fluvanna County has
I
on
did.
their signs
Okay.
on what to do in an emergency. And then, Mike, I don't know if I'm sure the county has something at the parks too. And you may or may not know this. I understand this isn't in your wheelhouse necessarily, but I'm sure the county must have signs around in their parks on what to do in an emergency. Are you aware of anything like that?
No, not really. It's interesting. It's a concept that is probably worth bringing forward with them.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
they
have
Let's just
to,
use like
I'll have to
Walnut
go
Creek
up to,
Park.
yeah, I'll have to go up to Walnut Creek and see if
I
I
know-
can just,
Yeah,
sometimes they have boards up in the general
understand.
areas, and I can take some pictures on what they have.
I just know that
no, we have
Oh, 911.
emergency phone. We have an emergency phone at the boat launch there, but it doesn't tell you, to be careful when you're on the trails or whatever, because there's no cell coverage in parts of Walnut Creek.
Oh,
But,
really?
yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a really great point. Have we tried cellular access throughout the park here in Scottsville?
that's above my pay grade.
Well, it may be something that we should ask the Parks and Rec Committee about, or we should just go try it ourselves.
Hey, what do you want me to try? I can walk up there like for a third time this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna say,
There's a cell tower over there. So you do
Yeah.
have cell service. I've been able to call over there. I called one time to Chief of Fire and Rescue one time during the ice storm cleanup. give them a heads up of what we're doing, and I had cell service in the woods,
I wonder if Scan must too.
but they have cell service there.
Yeah. All right, well, we should test it and just make sure.
Yeah.
Because if we're giving direction to people to call on their cell, but yet there's no cell
You-
service,
Yeah.
that's a problem. That would be a
I know
problem.
we don't have mile markers on the bike
No.
trails or hiking trails, so I think it's all about the person. Well, if you have cell coverage, you'll be able to get lat long from where the cell call came from. So
You know what? Albemarle County though should be, concerned. I mean, Savannah County does a great job with their stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Putting mile markers up, putting brochures out, putting maps and placards out and, things concerned with emergency preparedness, if something happens, call this number for the sheriff, let them know your mile marker and where you are and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Savannah County does a great job. I mean, Albemarle County needs to step up their time.
Like I said, this is.
we're going to open a new park soon, Biscuit Run. We're going to open the new park, so I think all of our attention is on Biscuit Run right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this-
Well, I wonder if they're gonna do a better job with Biscuit Run.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, so
Let's hope so,
this is me, this is them.
Yeah.
in terms of pay grade.
No, that's everything.
Oh,
This is me, I'm at the bottom there.
you're at the bottom of the food chain, they're at the
like,
top.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we
So
pay taxes directly. or
tomorrow-
indirectly.
That's right.
tomorrow, I have a demo request put into what the county uses as a ELC, try and get some ideas to implement our own. So I'm gonna see what features they have, demo it with a 60-minute demo, see what we can add to the spreadsheet.
For what, the ECC alert?
It's
Yeah,
like
the
like a
alerts.
software we can add, like, keep track of things logistics wise.
Mm,
So it's like a big giant spreadsheet, but you can add more features to it.
Okay,
So basically, it's what the county uses. If we do have a diehard emergency and it's perfect, we could actually connect to them via their side and our side put together.
all right.
But
But what about, where are we with the alerts? I know that Javier was supposed to
I have no idea.
contact Sunny Saxon, is that right, Mike? Is that's the name?
Yes. Yeah, he's the owner of that system. Well,
Okay,
he runs the ECC, so
I have no idea.
that's,
okay. So we
that's the
need to
right-
ping Javier
Yeah.
on that one.
yeah.
I know they did swamped today with the AT&T issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it would be nice to get with them to get alerts specifically for Scottsville, because right now if we sign up for Albemarle County and we get everything. So let's follow up with Javier on that one. Okay, any other updates?
That's all from my side. Like I said, I'm working closely to get prepared for July 4th. On the EPC side, working on GIS dashboard to keep track of things around town during big major events. We had an issue on Overlook Trail past 3 years. And we finally got it dealt with. It's ended up being a Brightspeed line that fell during the ice storm 3 years ago. And Brightspeed 2 technicians came out, was it Tuesday and today? I walked the trail with them, show them where it's at, show the pole information, and they discovered it's live. And somehow it got disappeared, so I reckon Brightspeed did it. I'm getting confirmation on that one. So
Okay,
it's a mystery. When I walked it again,
Yeah.
it's gone.
But it's nice that, when things solve.
Yeah, one thing's done, so that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. They outperform themselves for
Yeah,
once.
so I ended up seeing Javier, the contact you sent me, Mike, I sent Javier the contact info for the guy,
Okay,
Charlotte, you gave me. So
okay,
Javier, I
that's
said,
fine.
okay.
hey, Mike, it strikes me, have you heard that they're getting sold again, that they're on
Oh, did you
the
hear about this?
market?
I've heard that from multiple sources, but
Yeah,
none are confirmed.
technician told me.
Yeah.
Nothing's confirmed.
No, they said,
Yeah.
I did confirm from technician it's on the market, so that's all I know. Again,
Great. Again,
hey,
Yes.
should we all put money in and buy it?
I don't think I would.
No,
want the management
no,
headaches. All right.
not with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, speaking of polls, Jack, isn't the Bateau Festival is like 2 weeks before July 4th, so you might want to keep an eye on that guy too. That's
Yeah.
a pretty big,
That,
Yeah.
well, you know what?
It has
Mike-
rained, like, High Cup Fest, it has rained every year we have done this.
yeah, I
And
know.
I'm here, like, I got soaked like past 2 years. So,
It used to be bigger than it is now, but I think it's a good point you raised, Mike, that we should check in on what's going on with,
I don't know who's in charge of it this year.
well, ask Javier.
I think everybody's just focusing on July 4th right now.
Yeah, I know, but it would be a good way to test things and make sure you're ready for July
Yeah.
4th.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
great, that's a great point.
So I'm gonna send everybody out this Google thing I made. It's called, it's a template of what Web ELC. Have you used Web ELC before? Have, Mike? So I found a spreadsheet with everything that's similar to what the software is. I'm gonna test it July 4th at any events. I want you guys to think of what it looks good and stuff. And that's why I'm gonna meet with the the software company that runs the ELC software for Almond County, see if we can add anything to the spreadsheet. Then somewhere in the future, we make it into like a database and we could make it into part of the subdomain of Scottsville Task Force 17.
Yeah.
That's down in the future. So I've been working on more GIS stuff. I'm working on building out GIS so we can track things easier, so I don't have to run like my head off like chicken like I've done in the past. We're trying to work on, first off, Mike, I'm gonna send you a picture of this. UA graduation has a weather plan. And it's quite interesting in the fact that I made copies of it the other day at my house, and it says that there's a weather plan for the UA graduation on lawn. It has fair weather, what to do, intimate weather plan, severe weather plan, what the severe weather plan does, and what number to call if there's any updates, where to update it. And also I found UA's emergency shelter. So I'm gonna get 3 quotes. And town has offered to pay for the poster to put into the sandwich board.
Okay, so we would put sandwich boards around
Around-
during an
And
event
during an event for
to
like.
say, here's, under these weather
Yeah.
conditions, this is
Right.
what
Be
town
that-
should do.
Be that symbol
Right,
as a put cooling on the bottom of it,
right,
put warming on the bottom of it.
right.
So we look like this symbol right here.
Yeah, gotcha.
So you would put icon markers
Yeah,
on the
icon.
town map to
Yeah,
show where these
Yeah.
stations would be.
so July
Oh,
4th,
neat.
we're gonna have potentially, the chamber or scan people to run the cooling thing. I'm gonna give them, our task force has an FCC license to communicate from here to here. So I'll be able to communicate with them and log any resources they need. And so we can keep track of who's here, who's what, when, where, what details and stuff. And we could keep an inventory on water. So I'm gonna reach out to Fuel Line with Javier, see if they can donate cases of water. I don't know what to expect this year for July 4th. I know that Lake Monticello's doing their fireworks the same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Charlottesville's no longer doing fireworks any longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a mess down here and we're trying to figure out how many cases of water. I reached out to Virginia Eagle Distributing. They said that they're offered, the only thing they can do is $20,000 and that we have to pay because they have the nice cases of water. And I thought that's kind of, I'm gonna reach out to Tiger Food when they open and Fuel Line, see if they can hook us up with something.
Okay.
So we're either gonna work with Scan or have it upstairs, Victory Hall, Scan building below first level or up here on the second floor as a cooling place for people to cool down. And we talked about in being help the fire department in the afternoon. This won't be activated in the morning, just in the afternoon when it gets really hot.
Yeah, it might be better to be downstairs. It's
Yeah.
cooler in general.
So we got to talk to Scan, see if they okay it. Anything else on their new business?
Yeah, we have a couple things that aren't here, right? We were gonna go over the grant and submit the
yeah.
grant today.
So since this deadline's coming up, we got everything in line. I looked at the donate the grant thing, looks fine to me. We got letters of support. And I think I will like to give the green light to upload it and submit it today.
So it's due on the 29th. This is the grant for the E911 signs.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, we do as Jack said, we have the letters of support. I finished all of the text. It's pretty straightforward. It's due on the 29th, and I thought, unless anybody has any objections, we'll go ahead and submit and cross our fingers and see what happens. Related to that, I'm working on a town ordinance that I put before council to mandate E911 signs on all properties
Are we able to
in town.
review that before you submit it to?
Yeah,
town?
of course.
Thank you.
And then, so I'll be working on the ordinance, and on I have to go to the architecture review board to determine the type of reflective signs for historic properties. It's probably different than on regular properties. I don't know what other locales do in terms of that, so I have some research to do on that. And the ordinance will also specify where they should be placed for each property. So
And
those are the
that's a
things.
$250 fine?
And it's a $250 fine. Well, at
And-
least that's what I'm proposing,
Is
a
that-
$250 fine if you don't have,
So will that money go to the town or would it go to the EPC?
go to the town. Sorry, Jack.
So I'm gonna get 3 quotes, like I said, for the sandwich boards. Javier, our town administrator, has offered to let us use one of their signs. Cause
Or
they're
what is this now?
July 4th.
Okay, we're
Ah,
off
sorry,
July
I'm just- I
4th.
don't have
We're
any
on
notes.
E911.
Oh, yeah. So we just need to pick a color. Do we have a color suggestion?
Yeah, I have, a lot of the properties have blue already. So I
Okay.
don't want to mandate green if they've already been
Yeah.
given out blue. So I'm gonna say blue,
Okay,
just for consistency's
do we know
sake.
what size?
I have to work that detail
Alright.
out. And all of that'll come through here and everybody on the committee will get to review it and give input to that once I get
I
that
do have
drafted.
one volunteer who's offered, who's my neighbor, to offer to go put these out
Yeah,
and
good.
drill them. We just need to see what type of, because I don't want to put on a phone line. Phone
Yeah,
pole
and
and all that.
The grant also asks about that, what is your money gonna be used for? Do
Yeah.
you have, all the grants now want basically a shovel-ready plan. They wanna know that
Yeah,
when they award the money, you have a good plan in place to actually use the money. Yeah, right, and when you expect to launch. So I think because the award isn't until March, I think. I gave it till October to sort of put in place. And my husband offered to volunteer time. We have a couple of other volunteers that offered to put up signs for people who were unable to do that for themselves. And this would be just the labor component, but I think I gave till the end of October to really complete the project. I don't know if that's realistic or not. I am I used to be a certified project manager, so I put that in there that we have a project manager to actually run the program
Somebody's bright enough to take over that.
to bring to completion. So I'm well versed in project management, formal project management procedures and things like that. So hopefully with having a formal project manager, having letters of support, having good text, and having, the labor component covered, hopefully that puts us in a good position to be considered seriously for award. Anybody have anything else to add to that?
no, that
Well, go ahead, Mike.
looks good to me. The application looks great. Good work on this.
All right, thank you.
So I've been documenting to do an inventory to help Mike out with Brightspeed stuff. I've started whenever there's a line down call. I mark it on the spreadsheet, add coordinates and what type of pole it is, listening to the scanner. So I have documented over 6,000 of them so far for the whole county to help them locate who owns what inventory in county, because basically nobody knows where the stuff is.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
Mike?
Right.
And so we can have a way we can
Yeah,
know
it's not just Brightspeed. We've got
everybody.
Yeah,
RAC and yeah, CVEC, of course.
Yeah, the only thing I have, CVEC goes all the way after Mountain, and so I've been listening to Scanner quite frequently now, trying to figure out who owns what and where. So just letting you guys know we have documentation of that.
well, and you know, in town, I know the town is struggling with these utility providers when because construction gets done and people don't know what's going on and they cut through lines or they
Oh, yeah.
bust water pipes or they do whatever, and then getting them fixed is really problematic. So I know we're working, town staff is working in accordance with other agencies to try to get some of this done. And the more we have documented in town and beyond is just icing on the cake, I guess. It's amazing to me that even the infrastructure companies don't know where their infrastructure is.
That's right. Yeah. Just hopefully no one ever hits a gas line.
Oh, we had that, yes, we had a gas leak here yesterday.
Yeah, somebody came by
Yeah.
the building yesterday and said, you have gas leak.
Wow.
Nobody even knew we had
Yeah.
gas. So I said, what kind of gas is it? They were like, I don't
I'll
know.
just smell
Is
it.
it propane? Is it, what is this? You know, so interesting. All right.
Anything, Brad, do you have anything on your side?
No, nothing I can add at this point.
Okay, so I do have one additional thing, and Brad, maybe I'm hoping you could get engaged on this.
Yes, I'd like.
As part of community outreach, we thought about before doing like a community newsletter.
Okay.
And I'd like to have one for the April event for the Scottsville Literary Festival.
Okay.
So one of the things I was thinking of, and Mike, you can't see this,
I would
but
email you.
yeah, Jack can email you this.
Okay. All
But
right. That's fine.
Just a one pager where we have like quarterly preparedness update, things for the community, like during Q1 for winter from January to March.
You're Brad, I'll give you one.
We would have things like
Thank you.
fireplace safety, safe use of space heaters, what to do during a power outage. You know, just several articles with
Yeah.
pictures, you know, just brief articles. On the back, what I'd like is, you see on this
Okay.
document here, it's got county resources,
Mhm.
but we serve like really 4 counties. So we have people
Mhm.
from Nelson,
Check your phone.
Buckingham, Fluvanna, and Albemarle.
Okay.
So we need to change this and broaden it.
So
Okay.
check your text.
I got it. I see
So
it.
It
looks
would
good.
have what to do, all of the county,
Depending on where exactly.
depending on where people are.
Yeah, okay.
And then articles for the community on the front with pictures, you know, just nice graphics.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
say, okay, this is, you know, think about this,
Yeah.
right? Do you have your sockets overloaded? Do you have appropriate storage in your, you know, things like that? Don't put space heaters on extension cords, kind of things, right? So we would have 4 a year, and we could hand them out at these events,
Okay.
right? And beyond. We
Okay.
could
I-
post them.
To my photo editing website, you can make this off of.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, Jack has a Canva account, if you're familiar with Canva.
I've used it before. I'm
Yeah.
not like a ninja with it.
Yeah, and you know what, I'm not either, but I
But
was
I'm a-
wondering if you could take the lead on this?
Sure.
I can
Yeah.
give
And
you,
develop a draft of the first newsletter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, we can decide how we want to, you know, do it on a quarterly basis. And if people, so Mike, Jack, myself, if you have any input for Brad to consider as articles for the first issue,
Yeah.
and there's plenty of
so
information
you
out
also
there,
should include,
right?
this is called Stay Informed. It would have all our social media, Ray's got social media accounts on it, so it'd be
Yeah.
something similar to.
But it would
this.
be small,
It'd
but
be
it would be
smaller.
on this
Yeah,
side, you
yeah.
know.
Okay.
So general resources, this would appear on all the newsletters, and then this would be different each quarter.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I can
get
show
that.
you, I can.
So it's
give you-
just four or five short articles, and then resources on the back.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, I forgot, Dum B forgot to hang out your, Amber County Affordable Connectivity Program, ACP, Brightspeed benefits, that's still active.
No, it's not. They actually have shut
I just
down.
found this in my
new
bag.
access.
From like when I met Jason for the first time.
Yeah.
So do you
yeah,
want me to recycle
understood.
this?
Yeah, it sounds like.
No, well, the hope is that they're going to reactivate, but it
Do you want me to
might
save
take a
these
while.
thing?
Yeah, I know how hard that is, but yeah, if you
What do you want me to
could,
do with them? Cause I just found them in my bag.
just stash them away for a while.
Okay. Cause I knew I forgot to do
'Cause it-
something till I saw the name on the force.
Jack.
That's all right. No biggie.
Alright, so I've been working easy, I'm gonna work with National Weather Service, like I said, in Buckingham County Emergency Manager met today for the first time. And he offered to get resources for Buckingham side, since that's a whole nother jurisdiction. I'm gonna put our side of request in for Bateau Festival a couple days in advance. And July 4th would be 2 weeks, a month in advance. Hopefully we could have more community members here present. As you know, that a lot of people are out of town and working right now this time of day. So hopefully we can have the new community members come and talk about themselves, hopefully.
Okay, let's try to find a time when they can actually be here, Jack,
Yeah.
this time. All right,
This is-
okay, is there anything else?
I also want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, about Brightspeed. I know that, we're just trying to hopefully get everything straightened out with them on the hill. So all I have to do is that we're starting the process of getting ready for these several events coming up. And hopefully we can get smooth sailing with the first outreach event for us.
All right, and then, yeah, let's get that,
Sign coded.
yeah, so we'll have the newsletter, hopefully we'll have a booth there. And we can test
it,
it
yeah.
out in the April event.
Yeah,
I think that's a good trial for, rather than just showcasing it at July 4th, right? April would be a good shot.
it's also, I
Right,
forgot to
right.
mention, March 7th or 5th. State National Weather Services will be testing the tornado drill at 9:45 AM. So your radios, your televisions, local like media outlets, we broadcast a test message, weather radios. So this will give you guys heads up if you hear the tone go off. Where testing of National Weather Service should last about 15 minutes. It's not mandatory, it's voluntary. So I reached out to all the schools in the Southern MR County feeder pattern, let them know about it. This will give them a heads up. If you need more information about it, you can visit State VEDA website.
Okay. All right, that's all I had. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I should be finished basic academy August 1st.
Okay. That's
So-
good.
Yeah, so emergency management would be done August 1st. I got some ideas.
For your
For
training?
my training, I have some other ideas. To talk about with the community, some ideas, something like really like. I've learned so far is like basically is outreach is your major party to emergency management, community outreach, the risk assessment, and get a whole community involvement. So I want to schedule something with the business owners. Chambers to have a round table discussion about what we can do to help them out.
Yeah, what county had the free to go, go bags,
Buckingham.
Buckingham? I mean, it would be nice as we evolve to do things like that, to actually provide things to people.
My first goal is start small.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah.
try and get feel what business owners, residents want. We can
Right.
have like a discussion where people can like talk for like a few minutes at a time. And I want the community, my number one goal when I got this idea to do Radio Scouts is get community involvement.
Yeah,
Do like outreach, get citizens input, what they need. And go from there, what resources they need, like what do we do if there's an emergency at basically like what Chief Curtis said last week, 2 weeks ago. What do they need? How can we support them?
right,
What assistance we can provide?
right.
Because basically migration is basically all you have to do is get community involvement. Then if you don't have in migration, your risk assessment goes up. If you do have it, your assessment goes down. If we could, we have to be in that middle between the two, or we could be in a bad situation. Does that make
Alright.
sense?
Yeah,
I think we should have a, get, like, send out like invitation out to the public, says we're doing this on
well,
this day.
yeah, it has to be planned, though,
Yeah.
Jack, right? We have to pick a day and.
That's
you know,
why,
you
that's
could
why,
have a-
that's why I'm bringing it to you guys' attention, that we should
Yeah.
probably do this sooner than before.
Okay, so let's put an action item on there to schedule community meeting.
I like to have like business owners, residents there.
Well, what we can do is go to maybe the chamber
Yeah.
meeting for one and present at the
I don't know when they.
Chamber of Commerce for business needs. And then we'll have to have some kind of community charrette or something like that for residents and property owners and things like that. I think the needs are different. And
Yeah.
that gets me thinking, Brad, and you might want to do some noodling on this, is should the newsletter focus on both? Should it be focused on just residents? Should we have a separate one for business? How do we handle that? Because we've talked in the past about like knock boxes
Lock
boxes
boxes.
for businesses.
Yeah,
That's something that
has
residents,
nothing to do with the rest.
right. So,
Here's an idea. We can have one column for business preparedness tips, one column for residential.
well, let's let Brad take the lead, but just keep that in the back of your mind on how you
Okay.
think we might approach that.
Yeah, okay.
And then just 2 letters, 1 letters, different columns, or let's just start with residents first and do businesses later, or do businesses first, residents later.
I mean, it just depends on the amount of information we want to push out to the residents.
You just need probably just keep it simple.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, honestly, I mean, I know you're telling me to, this is a future thing, but I'm thinking residents first, and then we can address, people who, the business owners. I don't know. I'll think about that.
Can we
Yeah.
have one section for business, one for residents? all
Well,
in
don't
one?
forget, it's a 1-pager, right?
I can make- I
I don't want to overwhelm people with information. I mean, we just want it to be forefront in their
Yeah.
minds and to be thinking of things with respect to preparedness, of safety, of things like that, whether it's fire safety or,
Like, basically like have, like, it's like, I know that hurricane season is coming up soon. I think we should focus on flooding one season, like each month National Weather
Maybe.
Services sends out, since we're now a weather ambassador now, that I will have more graphics we could use via NOAA.
well, let's let Brad get his thoughts together
I
on
was
how
thinking
he
of ideas,
wants
because
to.
certain things, months, like preparedness months that we should follow.
Yeah, well, let's let him decide
Right.
on sort of what the layout looks like, and then we can talk about the types of articles that we'd want to go in the
Yeah.
various spaces. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds, yeah, absolutely. And you
Yeah.
did say you wanted it to be quarterly, not monthly.
Yeah, quarterly.
Quarterly.
Yeah, let's start small and, I think quarterly we could probably achieve
Exactly what, yeah.
for this,
Okay.
You're saying-
calendar year,
Well,
right? Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm them. We don't want to overcommit ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? If it's popular and it's, things, then at some point we could go to monthly, but still, that's a lot of work
Right.
doing a
Right.
monthly.
So one thing I forgot to mention, I did find, forgot where I found it, I did find a telecommunications preparedness info packet. Forgot to send this to you. It's about what to do if there's a communication outage. I forgot where I found it.
Okay, and that, that's good information for residents too. Having weather radios and hand crank stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of things we can put in there for residents. Businesses, I don't know if we have as much information for businesses as we do for residents, so maybe that might sort of steer us to the residents side of things, but you might want to do some searches, I guess, and see what you think.
I mean, I'll get with people offline. I'm leaning more heavily toward like residents, and I know we're not here to discuss this. You told me to think about it, but it seems like this is something more a resident would want to pick up. And if they saw a bunch of business information, it would probably disengage them a little bit,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't really,
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That this doesn't interest me.
Yeah,
Why
it's not
why would I read it? Yeah,
I-
that's a really good point.
So I'm working on, forgot to mention this, I forgot to take notes this morning, I was been busy doing break speed this morning, so I'm working on graphics for each event. Right now I have a heat management guide that gives you tips on what to do. And basically, so social media platform posts, so we can schedule things throughout the day, what needs to be posted. Hopefully we can get more people to get involved with Ready Scottsville July 4th. So far, I know the crowd is expecting about 8 to 10,000 people down here that day. So we just need to promote Scottsville, Ready Scottsville, to say if you need any updates, go here, go here, go here. And we just need to make sure we push out.
Okay, so just sort of organizationally, then Jack, it sounds like you've got the outreach part for
Yeah.
events covered.
Yeah,
And then Brad will look at the newsletter and just sort of general outreach stuff,
correct.
right? Okay, just so that. we're-
So I think we should give this Brad to figure out what to do to add this to
Well-
flyer, the newsletter quarterly.
I mean, I'll take,
I mean, he can take it. It may not be, this is, I think, more event related than it is general information. I mean, but. You
Like
know,
several copies.
I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, I can work it. Well,
Yeah. I just
no,
want
you
to
don't
give you
have to
some
work it in.
ideas.
I think you decide, right? You're lead. So we will follow you
okay.
on this, Brad, on what you think makes sense. You're a resident, you know what, might be interesting to people who
Here's
live in the
this.
area.
I have this flood.
Oh, yeah.
I have a checklist of, I did this at the Yancey community. It says a flood checklist, safety checklist. And I thought of you. And so it says, turn around, don't drown. Check. Even a small flood, amount of water is enough to sweep your vehicle off the road.
Mhm.
What should I do? 2 check boxes. What do I do after the flood? Watch your warning. It says visit the website. It says family plan, and you fill in your emergency communication plan. And there's a Spanish version.
Well, that's a good point too. I think it's, yeah, I think it's.
Copy of this.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
separate from the newsletter, but it might be helpful to have checklists for people over time. I don't want to take on too much too soon, but
My problem with, and maybe it's just a generational thing, but a lot of people don't even, I mean, those are always really great ideas on paper, literally.
yeah,
But people don't typically engage with that. They'll see a
Right.
hyperlink, they're not gonna go visit the website. And
Right.
you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know
Right.
what the solution is. That's just.
well, and
but I'm-
you know what, the Scottsville Police Department does a really good job of reaching out to kids at schools.
Yeah.
That's where you can really,
hit it home.
yeah, you can have a checklist and go out and present to kids. What do you do? And
Fun engagement,
right.
bring that-
That's right. That's right. So
I know
I
that
don't think that's for this go around, but it's something for us to
I
keep
know that
on our radar.
fire department, when they do October Fire Safety Awareness Week, they go educate kids, show their apparatus at the Scottsville Elementary School preschools. And in August, whenever back to school is for county, the Boys and Girls Club hosts a public safety day. I flew my drone, what drone I have. And flew it inside the gym for the kids to see, and they
Yeah.
enjoyed it. That's the best thing. When I see them, they said, "How's your drone? How's your drone?" And that's the best part of the day was the drone.
We had the third graders in recently and talked to them about town government and how town government works.
Oh, that's-
And
This-
yeah,
I
that
heard
was
this-
really cool. And they got a
No.
tour of the flood equipment in town and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's another thing where
So
you
what did-
could have had, we
Yeah,
could have had
Yeah,
a flood checklist and handed it out to everybody to take
So what
home.
Like for next
So
year.
maybe
Yeah.
for next year, October,
Yeah.
so what did
Would
they
be
vote
good.
on?
huh?
What did they vote on?
Believe it or not, believe it or not, this was really interesting. And I don't know if this is a sign of our times,
Okay.
but I was running a little group. They had elected their mayor and their town councilors. And I said, okay, have you heard the phrase, think global, act local, right? Think of a big event that everybody would be concerned about, but that we might be able to do something about just for our community. So we broke up into smaller groups and went around. And this young woman, and I, said, okay, does anybody have any ideas and whatnot? You know what brainstorming is? And, we talked about that a little bit. And this one young woman raised her hand, young girl, and she said, keeping,
Okay.
yeah, we're good, Ron, thanks.
Yeah, sir.
She said, making sure that people are safe in their homes. And I said, that's a good one,
Yeah.
right? So everybody wants to feel safe in their home, right? So what could we do? And they said, well, we could, you know, do this, make sure we have strong locks or whatnot. But I thought all the kids started chiming in. So one of the issues that
Yeah.
they voted on was more cameras in town to keep people safe when they're in town. And I thought,
I haven't thought of
Sure.
it.
yeah, I mean, third graders, I was very impressed by that. They were so aware.
Then I heard from another person who was there that they wanted to have, that they feel safe down here. Did you hear about that one? They feel safe, they enjoy growing up down here.
Yeah, one young man, he was one of the town councilors they voted on, and they said, what is great about Scottsville to you? And he raised his hand and he said, when I first moved here, everybody made me feel really welcome.
Oh,
I
well,
know,
Liz and I felt the same way, not to butt in, but yeah, we
Yeah.
felt exactly the same way.
yeah. You know, it's Scottsville is unique in that, I think, in that
It's historic.
it's not just a history, it's
The-
for what people would think as a rural southern town, and not deep south, but a southern town. It's
It's so big.
amazingly welcoming and
Exactly.
diverse,
Yes,
you know?
Liz and I used to talk about that all the time. It's just incredibly diverse, welcoming, and just kind of.
I enjoy like the social.
Yeah, so I always, you know, when I read things about, you know, you see these satires about Southern people and what they're like and stereotypes and things like that. I always think in my head, they should come to Scottsville because that's just so not true
I
here.
spent my entire life down here.
Right.
My dad used to own a furniture place right across the street from you.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
now it's the doctor's office. So I grew up down here. I know everybody. So basically I have a good side and a bad side. So if I get in trouble, one could bail me up, one says you're screwed. You're on your own. And so I remembered, growing up down here, like there was like there was a pizza place, 360, 330 Valley Street one. There was the ice cream parlor down here, like hand scooped ice cream down here.
Mhm.
And there's other good activities down here, like there was Jim on the James events, like summer concert series like Shalta has. There's a bunch of other activities down here that
Yeah,
that
we did a similar event for the teens
Okay.
over at the Boys and Girls Club. And they did comment that they wanted more food choices.
it gets
Uh,
old.
Oh, yeah, well-
Raising Cane's, Raising Cane's, we want a Raising Cane's,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
Filet, right?
Hey, what do you
And the-
count?
And the other thing, wait a minute, the
Yeah.
other thing was more activities. Like we have a lot of activities for the younger, we
And-
have for the older, but there is that age group, you know, when you age out at like the 12, 13-year-old, there's a big gap. I would love to see us fill that. In fact, as a town councilor, I'm working, trying to get a YMCA presence down here, you know, for some activities for all ages. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you. Anything else that we need to put
Mike
on?
from county level, what do you have?
Oh, I'm good. Everything's fine.
Hey,
No
so I have a,
problems.
Oh,
No
come
updates.
on, we know that's not true.
yeah, that's a lie. Hey,
Well, we're
That's
getting the
party
budget
line,
together,
Mr.
so-
Cook.
hey, so I do have an
Budgets,
update on
yeah.
Firefly from when I was talking to Pike people. Did I tell you this?
Yeah,
And so they're going.
no, you haven't. Oh, they're doing make ready for AEP.
Yeah, they're getting ready. They're
Pike.
talking about replacing a lot of the poles on our road.
Yeah, I know. I wish they would just go underground, but it's
Yeah.
too
Yeah, I was talking
Yep.
to former Mayor Nancy Gill this morning, and she said the same thing. Everything should be underground.
Right.
So basically all I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna work with Mike. I'm on a graphic from the Alma County ball band office, tell people what to do if there's an outage. Cause people have been blowing up my phone about it. Every
Oh.
time we have an outage, my phone blows up all in the constantly. I have to go in the middle field and get signal. And it's quite a pain, but
I know.
Jack,
they
you're
come to
just
me-
such a good guy.
they come to me.
Yeah,
Could be needed.
Yeah, it's gonna be wanted, Jack, right? All right, everybody,
Yeah.
let's wrap
all
up.
right.
Mike,
Right.
thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
All right. I'll
Take
come
care.
down soon.
All right.
See y'all.
Bye now.
Bye.
So let me make you those copies.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna start off.
And then Jack, let's do that grant application and upload that stuff. Brad, thanks for being here.
No, absolutely. Thank you for giving me your brother.
Well, don't thank me yet.
Yeah.